Okay, guys, very good afternoon to everybody. Yeah, no problem, guys. I will repeat everything. So it's 1:30, and what I already told to other people who have joined earlier that yes, guys, whatever happened yesterday because of technical issue, many people were not able to understand properly the things. So this class, I will cover everything that we did yesterday, especially that board mass. I will do it completely from the scratch. Don't worry about it. Okay. So those who already know, you have to bear me for some minutes. You need to repeat it even if you know, but for others who missed yesterday, it will be beneficial for all you guys. Okay. Okay, so should I start? Am I visible? Is my voice audible? And can you see my screen also? Can you see this good noon? Everything is all right. I know that everything is all right. Yeah, so the problems are lesser than YouTube live, I agree. Harsha, actually voice is clear to everybody. I think you need to check your end if your internet connectivity is proper or not, or you may connect your audio again. Audio is proper to everyone. That's what everybody is saying. No problem, right? No problem in audio. Okay. Yeah, guys. So uh, one thing that I want to tell you about Zoom. Mm, Whenever I ask any question, if the answer is in yes or no, and if you want to answer it yes, you can use the thumbs up button. If you are using through phone, you can find a thumbs up button. So you don't need to write entire yes by going to chat box. You can just thumbs up, thumbs up. You can just use thumbs up. Okay. For other doubts or for any no or anything, you can write in chat box. Not an issue. The chat box is consistently open in front of me. I will reply it on real time basis. Don't worry. Okay, so there is no lag like YouTube live. The entire chat is live, so you will feel like a virtual class only. No problem. So okay, guys, now we have given the 2 minutes grace period also. I think now we are good to go. Okay, so let me tell you what I have covered yesterday. First is paper number 3, introduction. You all know the name of the subject is business maths, stats and LR. And the business word is very important. Why? Because in future you are going to become a consultant for business. You are going to advise the businesses, and if you are an advisor, you need to be an expert of business, right? Even if you are not doing the business, you should be able to understand the business. That was what the objective of this subject. So the objective was coming from the name itself, the business mathematics, stats and LR. Okay. Then marks weightage. For marks weightage portion also, people were having problems, so I have shared the PDF also. But again, yeah, again we'll go through that PDF right now, so that there is no confusion at all. Okay, so look here. Yeah. Okay, so I told you there are three main subjects in CA Foundation paper number 3, and those three main subjects are maths, stats and LR. LR means logical reasoning, maths means mathematics, and stats means statistics. Now mathematics is 40 marks, statistics is 40 marks, and logical reasoning is 20 marks. Under the mathematics, the section 1 was ratio, proportion, indices, log, then equation matrices, then linear inequalities. Okay, and it is covering 20 to 30% of the syllabus. 20 to 30% means what? 20% of 40. So it is 12 to, no, it is 4 to 8 to 12 marks. 8 to 12 marks. First three chapters. Okay. Is my screen properly visible? Because then I will go into my flow. If everything is going fine, I will go into my flow. Okay. Just checking because it is first time, then I will go to my flow. If any issue in between, you can use chat box. Okay. Not an issue. Yeah. Second is equation and matrices, then linear inequalities. This particular group is covering 8 to 12 marks. Okay. Then comes the most important part of entire paper number 3, that is time value of money. I told you because of two reasons it is very important. First, because of its weightage in the exam, and the weightage is 12 to 16 marks. 12 to 16, guys. Remember, only one chapter is covering 12 to 16, and it is not a very big chapter also. It is an average size chapter, but still it is covering 12 to 16. The reason or the logic behind is that in the upcoming level of CA exam, CA inter, CA final, there are many subjects which uses this concept of time value of money, and it is basically the, I will say, the root of the finance. If you don't know the time value of money, you cannot be a finance advisor, you cannot be a finance expert. Okay, so this is very 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 important chapter, and for this chapter we'll cover each and every point. Don't worry. Okay, so these are the first two sections of maths. Then section 3, permutation and combination, which is abbreviated as PNC, and along with PNC it is sequence, series, then set, relation, function. So this permutation and combination is, yeah, I will say that it is high level. Above average is the difficulty level, I agree, but these two are very easy, set, relation, and sequence, series. So particularly I will mark this section as average, not very tough but average. Except permutation and combination, it is easy. And yeah, there is one exception, and that exception is calculus. Calculus is exception. I told you in calculus there are two ways. Either we do it for 20 days and score 5, or we do it for 3-4 days and we score 4 or 3. So you all were ready for, sir, do it for 3-4 days and we will score 4 marks. We don't want to study 20 to 30 days only in a one chapter which is not even covering 10 marks. Okay, so no logic behind it. Okay, then logical reasoning. Logical reasoning, you don't know anything, so don't worry about it. It's 20 marks, 5 chapters, 4 marks from each chapter. Very easy. There is no importance. Each of the chapter is equally important. Then comes statistics. Statistics is our scoring part. Why? Because in statistics there are numerical as well as theoretical questions also, and in theoretical questions the time management is very essential. Sir, what is the problem with time? There is a problem with time. I told you it is only 120 minutes, not 3 hours. So you have to score, or you have to attempt 100 questions in 120 minutes. So tell me, what was the time for each question? I told you yesterday, time in seconds I want. What was the time in seconds for each question? Tell me. Sir, it was 72 seconds. Yeah, yep, 72 seconds. So 72 seconds are not enough for every question. Okay, so theory question will save us the time that we will use in the numerical question, and those theory questions are in statistics. So first chapter is entire theory. Second chapter is easy, it covers mean, median, mode, standard deviation, so formula based chapter. Then probability and theoretical distribution, these are above average, chapters. Okay, so let me take the weightage also. This is 10 to 40 into 45%, so 18 to 20 marks. So you can see 50% of syllabus is covered in first two chapters, then 25 to 30%. So 40 into 25 means 10 to 12 marks. This is also covering, so we'll cover that portion also, not an issue. Then correlation regression, very easy, low weightage. Then index number time series, very easy, low weightage, no problem. So this was all about syllabus. Do you have any doubts on syllabus? Do you have any doubts? Do you have any doubts regarding the syllabus or regarding? No. Okay, so let's not waste time in this. Let's come back to what we are doing. Yeah, so paper 3 intro, nothing much about it. Objective, you know, it has a business application. Marks weightage, you understood. Exam pattern, I will discuss once more. As far as exam pattern is concerned, guys, I'm telling you, 40 marks maths, 40 marks stats, 20 marks LR. All these three will have only 1 marks question. There are no 2 marks question, no 3 marks question, all 100 MCQ, 1 marks each. Correct? Now, the important thing is the negative marking. The most important thing is negative marking. What is the negative? What is the negative marking? -1, -2. How much? If you score correct, you will get +1. If you score incorrect, then it is negative marking of 0.25, sir. Only 1/4 of the marks will be deducted. Okay. So let us take that example. If you have attempted, you have attempted 60 questions, unattempted 40 questions. Out of 60 questions, after the result, you understood that, yeah, my 50 questions were correct, 10 questions were incorrect. So for this 40, you will not get anything. It is 0. For this 50, you will get +1. So 50. For this 10, you will get -0.25, which is -2.5. So this will be 47.5. Tell me, are you able to understand this 47.5? If you understood this, please give a thumbs up. Let's use the thumbs up button. It will save our time. Yeah, I will answer you. I will answer about this theory. So is that working, thumbs up button? Because I have not got enough replies. Yeah, it's working. Okay, no problem. So somebody is asking, sir, what is the weightage of theory? What is the weightage of theory? As per my experience, it is on an average 15 questions. It may go down to 5 questions. It may go up to 25 questions also. So there is no prescribed format or weightage given regarding the theory. It's only based on my experience, I'm telling you. Okay. So we will cover entire theory, because when we cover concepts, the theory is already covered. We don't have to study theory separately. Okay. Because theories are important also to apply it on the practical questions. So when we study concepts, theories are already covered. So don't worry about theory. If it will come for many more marks, it is beneficial for us. Just understood this thing. Okay, great. Now let me come back to exam pattern is done. Material and notes. Material and notes, again I will give you information about that. Material and notes, I will do it quickly, don't worry guys, then we will start the topic. Material and notes. So first thing is ICAI study material. So this is the book given by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. When you register for the CA Foundation course, you will get it by post. Since lockdown, the post services are not working. So people are studying through PDF, and the PDF are always freely available in the website of ICAI. Okay, first thing. So this you will get easily, this ICAI study material. This will be our base book, the most important book. This will become our base, because this is the main book given by ICAI. Okay. Second is now concept notes. These are the summarized note by me, CA Pranav. This will be given to you in the form of ebook as a PDF. Okay. Third, now there should be your notebook, which is to be prepared by student only. Okay, this notebook will cover what? First thing, important key points. When I am teaching you, when I am explaining any concept, there will be some important key points that you need to write down here. You don't need to write down all the formulas, entire content, because it is already in the concept note. So don't repeat it. Yeah, but some important key points, like in particular question, I have some special point that I want you to write down. So that you need to write down there. And second thing is practice of questions. So all the questions that we will practice, you need to do by your pen and paper in your notebook only. Yeah, there is exception to this, that, and it is about some chapters will use only calculator, like time value of money. In that case, what you should do, for easy questions you can just do it on calculator, no worries. If there is any point, you should write it down in your notebook that in this particular question, this was the calculator trick. Okay, but for other chapters, you need to write down through paper and pen the entire solution of the questions that we will cover in the class. Okay, whenever after any class, okay, once this demo class is over and we will start with that recording mode, if there is any doubt about any questions in your class, anyways you can pause. So whenever I solve any question, you can pause my video and write it down in your notebook. And even if you have missed that pause also and you are not able to take photo of that, you can WhatsApp me that, sir, this particular question I was not able to write, please send me the pictures. That I will send, not a issue. That you can put in group also after we start the class. Okay, so this was all about the notes. That's how we will proceed. So the maximum uh, time that you should give in writing is about practice. It is not like a theory subject where you need to write all the definitions and everything in class itself. No, we have lesser time to practice in mathematics. So we will not waste in our time to make class notes. Rather, we will use our class time to practice in class itself. Okay, in front of me, you will practice everything. So is it clear about material and notes? Is this section clear? Any doubt, please ask me. Any doubts, please ask me. I'm giving 10 seconds. Should I proceed? Should I proceed, guys? Okay, perfect. So this was about material and notes. Okay, now expectations and targets. Okay, somebody called Sanju is asking for time series. When you will buy the course, that will come as per the sequence. Why you are worried now? Every chapter will be covered, and that is mostly the last chapter. So that will be covered in the 4th month. Don't worry about it. Okay. Then expectation and target, I'm not repeating because it was not any technical thing. My expectation that you should attend the class regularly. You should not hesitate to ask any question. Okay. And also your notebook should be completed with each and every exercise question, and along with the exercise question in your study material, you should write down question number, and in front of the question number, which is the page number of notebook where the solution is. So what problems other students are facing that I have experienced is that people do complete their notebook, but at the time of exam they are not able to find the particular solution, that where is the solution of this question. So what you need to do is to quote the page number in your book itself, that in this page number of notebook the solution is given. Okay, so that thing you need to do by your own. That will help you so much during the exam times. So don't prepare notes from a shorter point of view, prepare notes from longer point of view, keeping in view how you will revise during the exams. Okay, next, test. The test will be very creative, don't worry. The test will be very creative. It will be MCQ, and I have prepared test for each chapters of CA Foundation Maths. Once our chapter is completed, after that there will be some particular time period. After that you will be given the test. So those test paper you all need to attempt. Okay, and I will also circulate. Actually, the evaluation is to be done from your end only. So you will tell me that how much marks you have scored and what was wrong and which question you are getting difficulty. So that particular questions or a group of questions we will discuss in class also, not an issue. Okay. Then my introduction I am not repeating. That is fine. My just name, you should know that my name is CA Pranav. That is enough. Yeah. So let's come directly to the content. So what I told you before starting the main chapters or the mainstream course, many of you who have not taken mathematics in class 11th and 12th have their basics very weak, because from class 6 to class 10th the mathematics concept we were mugging up, or maybe if we are not mugging up, we have now forgot that. Okay. So to recall that, to brush up that, I'm again taking for few days the basic concepts only, then we'll start chapter 1. Okay. So the topic 1 is BODMAS. So let me come to BODMAS. So everybody knows, I told you yesterday also, BODMAS is what? BODMAS. Before looking into the full form, we need to understand that what is the use of BODMAS. And the use was that when I have a question where there are multiple operators like plus, minus, multiply, divide, bracket, power, bar, etc., I'm confused which operator should be used first. So for removing this confusion, to make a universal way to solve the mathematical questions, there is a BODMAS rule which will help everybody of us to decide the sequence of how should we operate the mathematical questions. Okay. So B for, sir, B for bracket. Okay. Within the bracket, first thing will come is bar. First preference should be given to bar, then small bracket, then curly bracket, and then square bracket. Is it clear? So when there are more than one type of bracket, you need to follow this sequence. Is it clear? Bracket thing is clear or not? Tell me. Then O for order. Order means power. Order means power. Okay. Then comes D. What is meant by D? D for, tell me. So D for division. Perfect. M for multiplication. A for addition. And S for subtraction. Now let's see the ranks. The rank number 1 is bracket. No doubt about it. Then rank number 2 is order. Rank number 2 goes to order. Then rank number 3, 3 goes to division or 3 goes to both division or multiplication. Tell me. Rank number 3, sir, it should be given to both. Division and multiplication both have same rank. Either you do multiplication first or division, doesn't make any difference. And the last, fourth rank will be given to addition and subtraction both together. So writing again here, this is rank 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. I hope it is clear. Now let's jump into the some questions that we did yesterday also. Yeah. So these were the questions. BODMAS question. Yes. Okay. So should I repeat questions or not? Or just tell me which question should I repeat? Because I will not repeat all the questions. We already did this yesterday. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tell me which question should I repeat? Few people were saying yesterday that they were not able to understand. If it is clear to you now, I can proceed. Okay, most of you are saying that don't. Okay, okay. Natasha, I am repeating one for you. Okay, question number 5. Then we'll proceed. Guys, just bear me for a minute. I am repeating question number 5. Then we will proceed. No problem. Yeah. So 18 minus 6. So this is the question. Let me copy this here. Yeah. 18 minus 6 bracket minus curly bracket 4 minus 8 minus 6 plus 3 bar curly bracket and square bracket. So first of all, we will solve the bar. If you solve the bar, 6 plus 3, you will get 9. Okay. So this will become 18 minus 6 minus 4 minus 8 minus 9. Okay. Now, what next? Now 18 minus, now you need to solve this, the small bracket, because bar is already solved. So this will become minus 1. So 6 minus curly bracket 4 minus minus 1. So this will become 18. Wait. Let me reopen my notebook. Yeah. So what I was saying, 4 minus minus 1. So this will 6 minus 5. Why 5? Because minus minus will become plus. Now 18 minus 1. This will become 17. I hope it is clear now, Natasha. No issues. Okay, about bracket. For plus and multiply and divide, you just need to remember that divide multiplication is first, then plus minus. Okay. So BODMAS is done. LCM. LCM I will not repeat. LCM was very easy. Prime factorization, our questions were pending. Prime factorizations, our question were pending. So now we will do prime factorization questions. Okay. Prime factorization. Now. So these are the questions of prime factorization. Where it is? Yeah. 36, 10, 50, 44. 36. Tell me the prime factors of 36 in that multiplication format that we studied yesterday, right? So how to do that? 2 18 ja 36, 2 9 ja 18, 3 3 ja 9. So 36 is equal to 2 into 2 into 3 into 3. Is it clear? Okay, now it's your practice time. Let me take a bigger example. 1050. Okay, do it now. 1050. Do it. It's your practice time. I'm giving 30 seconds to you and your time starts now. Yeah, many of you have given the answer. So now I can solve this and you can check your answer. First of all, let's divide it by 2. If I divide it by 2, I will get how much? So 1050 divided by 2, we will get 525. Now 525 can be divided by 5. 5 1 is 505. Then again 105 can also be divided 21. Then 3 7 is 21. So 2 into 5 into 5 into 3 into 7. Perfect, guys. Those who have answered this are absolutely correct. Okay, I hope it is very clear. Prime factorization. Okay, now one more practice question. But for that, you will get only 15 seconds. If most of you are able to answer, then I will proceed further. And your next option is, or the next example is 3420. Yeah, 3420. Solve it. And your time starts now. Very good, Harshal. Very good. Okay, I'm getting almost similar answers from everybody. So I think that the answer is correct. Yeah, very good, Natasha. Akansha, good. Okay, let us check. Fatafat. Yeah, 3420 divided by 2, it is 1710. 1710 divided by 2 is 855. I think 855 can be divided by 5. Yeah, so we are getting how much? 171. And 171, is it divided by anyone? Can we divide by 3? 3 5 is 15. Yes, 3 5 is 15. 2 1. 3 7 is 21. And 57 can also be divided by 3. So 3 1 is 3. 3 9 is 27. And 19 is a prime number. So it cannot be further divisible. Okay. So 2 into 2 into 5 into 3 into 3 into 19. I hope it is clear to everyone. Yash, why you have used 11? 11 will not come here. 19 will come. Maybe by mistake you are using 11. Okay, 19. So all clear, guys? Should we proceed now to the new topics? Are we all at the same level now? Yesterday's things are also covered. Yes, perfect. Okay, guys. So prime factorization is done. Now I'm starting with the new topic. So be focused. I know many of you are not focused because they have already understood yesterday. But now I am going to start new topic. So be focused, be alert. Okay. I will ask many questions. Perfect. So types of numbers is today's topic. Types of numbers. So numbers, we already know what is number, what is 1, 2, 3, 4 digits. No. You don't know everything. First of all, what are the counting numbers? When you were a child, how did you learn the numbers? Was it from 0? Was it from 0.5 or was it from 1, 2, 3, 4? What were the basic counting numbers that naturally any child understand? Tell me. Sir, it was starting from 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. We generally say 1, 2, 3, 4 to the little children. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Because these are very natural counting numbers, they are called natural numbers. Have you ever tried to make the children's learn -3, -5, infinity, 2.5, 3 root, square root? No, right? So natural numbers are the natural number which are used for counting. Very simple. Okay. They are always the positive numbers. This is the one thing that you need to understand. Do not include 0. it do not include 0. Okay, that is other thing. So this was about our natural number. Okay, next is whole number. When we talk about natural number, are we covering the all the digits? When we talk about natural numbers, are we covering the first digit 0? No, sir. But when we talk about whole number, it is nothing but a natural number only. It is just a natural number only. So I will say whole number is also equal to natural number. Yeah. But one more thing is added. And that one more thing is what? 0. So whole number means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay. One more thing. They are also positive numbers. No negative numbers are here. 0 is neither positive nor negative. So other than 0, all are positive. And they include 0 also. They do include 0. That is the basic difference between natural and whole number. Clear? Now tell me, if I tell you a number 16, tell me what is this? Is it a natural or a whole? 16. Is it a natural or a whole? Everybody is answering, sir, it is both. So it's not like that a particular number is natural or a whole. No, they are both. Only 0 is the number which is whole but not natural. Other than that, all the natural numbers are whole numbers. All the whole numbers except 0 are also natural numbers. Is this clear? Is this point clear? Okay. Then one by one we will increase our coverage. Okay. So if you know about a number line, we have just discussed 0 and the positive sides. Now if we cover negative sides also, like -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. What are these? What are these? Tell me. So these are called integers. These are called integers. So integer covers all the positive numbers also, all the negative numbers also, and 0 also. Okay. So can I say one statement? Just give me the answer in a thumbs up. Can I say all the natural numbers are integer also? Can I say all the natural numbers are integer also? Yes or no? Mayank said no. Mayank, think again. I am saying all the natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to infinity. Are they also the integer? Yes. Then what is not integer? Integer means a complete number. It means a complete number both positive or negative. Either positive or negative, both are covered here. Also includes 0. So complete numbers, both positive, negative, also include 0. That is what the integer is. So tell me, 2.5, is it an integer? 2.5, is it an integer? Yes or no? No, sir. That is the only thing that is not covered in the integer. It is, sir, points number. Fractions or points, decimal places, no. It needs a complete number only. Clear? Is it clear to everyone? Now, one more example. Tell me, this 20 divided by 5, is this an integer? Is this an integer? Yes or no? Many are saying no, many are saying yes. Think again. Is 20 upon 5, can it be converted into a complete number? Yes. This 20 upon 5 is nothing but equals to 4. And when we talk about 4, 4 is a very much integer, not an issue. So those who have answered no, is it clear now why it is an integer? But sir, it is a fraction. No, no, no. It is not a point whether it is a fraction or not. The important thing is that ultimately it's a complete number or not. If you do it in calculator, 20 divided by 5, you will get 4. You will not get any decimal value. Okay. So that's why this is a integer. So we discussed about natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers. Now there are three statements. One by one I will give you. Statement number 1. All the natural numbers are whole number. True or false? You can give answer in T or F. The answer is true. Yes. It is a part of whole number. 1, 2, 3, 4 are always natural number. Second, all the whole number are natural number. True or false? You are firing answers. Very good. Sir, false. Again, question modified. All the, okay, wait. I'll copy this question directly. Why to write again? Let's use the technology. All the whole number are natural number except 0. Now tell me true or false. Oh, my blue pen is not working. Why so? Yeah, now it's working. True or false? Sir, it is now true. Some people are saying false. Guys, think of it. Only 0 is the other thing. Otherwise, all the whole numbers are also natural number. Okay. Okay. Statement number 1 is done. Actually, I will put numbers here. 1, 2, 3 are done. Then fourth, positive integers is equal to natural numbers. True or false? Yes, sir. Positive integer is nothing but equivalent to natural number. Very much true. So it is also true. Okay. One more statement. All the whole numbers are integers. Is this true? Perfect. This is also true. Then one more statement. Sir, we are getting bored of out of a statement. No worries. Last statement. All the integers are whole number. True or false? Sir, false. Perfect. You guys have understood it very perfectly. Not an issue. Sir, what is the use of it? Keep it surprise. When we discuss further chapters, set relation and function, it will use this concept, but how, that I will not disclose now. Okay. What happened? Yash, you're not able to understand. You're doing thumbs down. No problem, yaar. Okay. Now, next type of number. Rational number. Now, rational number is little difficult to understand. I will not say difficult, but yes, people get confused in it. A number in the form of P ratio Q. There is a number which is in the form of not P ratio Q, but I will say P upon Q in the division form, where P and Q are integers. So understand it again. Try to understand a number in the form of P upon Q. So a number in the form of fraction, P upon Q means fraction, but this fraction is a rational number only when P and Q both are integers. Okay, this is one condition. And second condition is Q is not equal to 0. Sir, what is the problem of Q being 0? If 0 is coming in denominator, the number is not solvable, it is undefined. Okay, so condition number 1 is that P and Q are integers. This is condition 1, this red mark. Condition number 2 is Q is not equal to 0. This is condition number 2. Is it clear? Now let us check. Just give me yes or no if that is a rational number or not. 2 upon 3. Tell me, is it a rational number? Yes, it is a rational number. Somebody said, sir, please repeat. I am repeating with this example, okay? Listen carefully. This is a rational number only because it is written in the form of fraction because of this upon, which means fraction, numerator, denominator. Now check whether the numerator, is it an integer? Yes or no? Yes, sir. 2 is an integer. Yes. Whether 3 is integer? Yes. So that is why this is a rational number. I hope it is clear now. Few more examples. Seven. Only 7. Tell me. Only 7. Is it a rational number? Yes or no? Namit said no. Very good, Namit. Others? I want no answer, guys. It is not a fraction. Why you guys are saying yes, yes, yes? Because you guys are smart enough. No worries. Those who said no have just, I will say, it is missed from their mind that any number which is not having any denominator, should be divided by 1, or I can say 1 is silent. So any normal number is also a fraction, but the denominator is 1 and denominator 1 need not to be shown. So repeating again for those who missed this part, guys, 7 is nothing but 7 upon 1. Denominator 1 has no value or no need to write. So that's why you cannot say that it is not a rational number. It is also 7 is an integer. Yes. 1 is an integer. Yes. Then 7 upon 1 is a rational number. And 7 upon 1 is equal to 7. So 7 is also a rational number. Namit, you understood, right? Very good. So I think now you have realized that these small things are also very important before we start this big subject. Got it? So you got my idea why I'm starting with the basics. You got this idea, right? Everybody? Not just Namit, everybody. This question is general for everybody. I know most of you will get bored because of the basics. You already know this. Okay, yeah. Now next thing, I will give example of not rational number. Don't worry, I will give example of not rational. It's not completed yet. I am giving the example. Few more examples. Okay. Root 2. Root 2. Check in the calculator root 2. What is the value coming? What is the value that is coming in root 2? So 2.1.414213 like that. There is no end of the number. There is no end. Yeah. So can I write root 2 as root 2 divided by 1? You can write, sir. Then people will say that, yeah, this is a rational number. This is written in the form of fraction. But no, guys. Is the root 2 an integer? Tell me, is this an integer? Is it an integer? No. If one of them is also not an integer, you cannot say that it's a rational number. For making it a rational number, both the things should be integer, numerator as well as denominator. Hence, I can say that this is a irrational number. Clear to you guys? Clear to you? Tell me. You can rationalize, but again, it will never become a rational number. Okay. Perfect, guys. Double thumbs. Thank you, Ambika. Okay, somebody is asking, sir, square root of 4. Dear, square root of 4, you will say that, no, sir, this is not integer. But no, square root of 4 can be solved to exact 2, and 2 is an integer. This is the reason why root 4 will not be treated as irrational, but it is treated as rational number. So you don't have to memorize that if there is any root, we will assume it as irrational number. No, you need to go case by case basis. Okay, very good. Now, one more thing that everybody thinks that it's a rational number, and that is pi. Tell me what is the value of pi. Tell me what is the value of pi. You must have heard a fractional value of pi. No, not in point value, but I am saying a rational value. Have you ever heard a fraction? 22 by 7. Now tell me, is this 22 and 7 both are integers? Yes or no? 22 and 7 both are integers. So should I consider this as rational number? Yes, I should consider this as rational number. But guys, there is one problem here. This 22.7, 22 upon 7 is not accurate. In lower classes, it is given to you only so that you don't forget the value of 3.14 like that. So it's an approximate value, but in reality the value of pi never ends. It's 3.14 something, and it goes on. It is not actually equal to 22 by 7. You can google this point. Is the 22 by 7 the correct value of pi? The answer is no. So let me tell you the reason why it's not a rational number. Not a rational number. What is the reason? The reason is that 22 by 7 is not an accurate value for pi. It is just an approximation. So that's why we should not consider 22 by 7. Rather, we should consider this value 3.14 and so on, which is a non-rational or irrational number. Okay, that is irrational number. Now, let me take irrational number as a topic. Any real number which is not a rational number is called as irrational. Now to understand this, we need to understand what is the real number. Okay, so let me come to the point real number. Now any number any number which is not an imaginary number is called a real number. Sir, you said any real number which is not rational is irrational, but I don't know real. Then we come to real, and in real, you are saying that any number which is not imaginary. Then how will we understand what is real number? So then again, we need to come to imaginary. Sir, what is imaginary number? A number that do not exist in reality. You will be able to understand this only by an example. See this example. 1. What is the square of 2? Everybody tell me the answer. No, not 2. What is the square of 4? Chalo, tell me what is the square of 4? What is the value of 4 square? 16. What is the value of minus 4 whole square? Minus 4 whole square. No, I am asking minus 4. Why are you giving answer as 16? Sir, squaring for negative number also gives us a positive number. What is the logic behind it? Sir, minus 4 into minus 4, when you do it, 4 into 4 will become 16, but minus into minus will become plus. So you know this, right? That minus 4 square is also 16 and the square of 4 is also 16. Now let's do the square root of 16. Let's do the square root of 16. What is the answer? Sir, it can be plus 4 also, it can be minus 4 also. No, I'm not squaring the 16, Natasha. I'm just asking the square root of 16. So it is plus 4 minus 4 both. It can be plus 4 minus 4 both. Don't just give 4 answer. Plus 4 minus 4 both. Because the squaring of both will result to 16. Okay. Yeah. Now next thing. If I'll ask you what is the square root of minus 16? Then are you able to calculate it? No, sir. If there is no any number square of which will come to negative, be it any number, square of 2, square of 4, let's not introduce iota here, it's not in our course. Let's just say that no, it is not solvable, it is not defined. Very simple thing, we cannot define this question. It's that simple. So imaginary number means which cannot be defined in the real life. Okay, so everybody is able to understand why minus 16 root of minus 16 cannot be calculated. I'm not talking about imaginary. Just tell me, is there anybody who can calculate minus 16 square root? You can check in your calculator also. Take 16, then press the plus minus button, then the root button. You will get 4, but there E is written in your calculator. E means error. The value is with error, not the correct value. Tell me now, who is having the doubt, or should I proceed with the other example? Okay, so next example. 4 upon 2 minus 2. 4 upon 2 minus 2. Now what will you do first? Sir, 4 upon 0. Now if anything is divided by 0, how will you get the number? No sir, we cannot get a number value. Some people says that it is equal to infinity. Okay, but infinity is not a value. It is, there is no single value that is called infinity. Infinity means a value that cannot be defined because it is very high. That is infinity. So this infinity is also imaginary number. It's not a real number. So those number which are imaginary, except them, all the numbers are called real numbers. Okay. So I will make a chart, then you will understand it very clearly. See this chart clearly. Okay. First thing is numbers. Numbers are of two types. Either it is a real number, no, either it is an imaginary number. Imaginary is also called as unreal. So both the names are used. Then real numbers. In real, there are two classifications. First is rational. Second is irrational. So real numbers are either rational. If they are not rational, then they are irrational. Then within rational numbers, one classification is that integer and other is non-integer. So you have not covered non-integer. Non-integer is nothing but a number that is not an integer but a rational number. So this is non-integer. Then in integer, there are three types. First is negative integer. One is 0, one is positive integer. This positive integer only is also called as natural number. Then 0 and the positive integer together are called as whole number. And the other one which is remaining is the negative integer. Now tell me, is it clear to you? Is it clear to you guys? Sonali, what is the irrelevant thing that you are typing in the chat box? Okay, so repeating again, basically number are of two types, either imaginary or real. In the real, there are two types, either rational or the irrational. In the rational, there may be integer or non-integer. If it is integer, integer are of three types: negative, positive, and 0. The positive integers are called as natural number. The positive integer along with 0 are called as whole number. That's how the numbers are classified. Now tell me, this number is clear to everyone or not? Is this the good diagram to understand? You can take a screenshot in your phone, okay, for this, so that you will never forget this. Okay. Okay, so by this, we are now done with numbers. Now I will take some examples and you just need to tell me whether the number is imaginary, real, rational, irrational, whatever it is. Okay. So let me write down the table. N stands for natural number. Real, this video will be uploaded to YouTube, so do not worry. If something is missed, you can cover it in the evening. By evening, it will be uploaded, so don't worry, okay? So what I was saying, abbreviations. Some abbreviations are also used in real life. This is not made by me. So imaginary real numbers are denoted by R. Rational numbers are denoted by Q, irrational by T, integer by Z, natural number by N, and whole number is by W. Non-integer have no role. They are not generally used, and negative integer also do not have a separate name or abbreviation. Okay, so I am writing here first N, then W means whole number, then integer means Z, Z means integer, then Q means rational number, then R means real number. After Q I will take T. T is irrational number, R means real number, and then imaginary. Now example number 1. Tell me a number is 2, just 2. Tell me, is it a natural number? Yes. Is it a whole number? Yes. Is it an integer? Yes. Is it a rational number also? Yes. Is it a irrational? No. Is it a real number? Yes. Is it a imaginary? No. Now tell me, is this understood? Are you able to understand what is this? Yep. Great. Now one more example. If you have missed this, one more example, one more chance for you. 0. Let's see. Is 0 a natural number? No. Is 0 a whole number? Yes. Is it an integer? Yes. Is it a rational number? Yes. Why? Because 0 is also equal to 0 upon 1. 0 upon 1 is not imaginary. Okay. Irrational? No. Not irrational. Real? Yes. Imaginary? Not. Third example. Square root of 3. Square root of 3. Is it a natural number? No. Is it a whole number? No. Is it an integer? No. Is it a rational number? No. Is it a T? Yes. T means irrational number. It is an irrational number. Now tell me, is it a real number or not? Root 3 is a real number or not? Yes or no? Root 3 is a real number or not? Yes or no? It is a real number, guys. Imaginary, the imaginary is that which cannot be defined, but root 3 is defined. If I'll take 3, then square root, I will get the number 1.732 something. So you cannot say it's not a real number. You can say it's not an imaginary number. It's a real number, but which type of real number? This imaginary type of real number, irrational type of real number. Irrational is also a part of real, right? So if something is irrational, it is absolutely the real number. Okay. The last question, the last example. Minus 16 square root. Is this a natural number? No. Whole? No. Integer? No. Rational number? No. If something is imaginary, it cannot come to any of these, because all these N, W, Z, Q, T are part of real number. If it is not real, how can it be N, W, Z, T, Q? You got my point? I hope the types of number are absolutely clear to everyone. Are you enjoying the class? Tell me frankly. Perfect. Yeah. Great. Little bit bored. Okay, okay. Because you are already expert in mathematics, that's why you are getting bored. But for those people who are having the phobia of maths, they'll now feel good At least for them, this is not a boring class. I hope so. Yes. So what is the next topic for today? So we are done with prime factorization and we are done with types of numbers. Types of numbers. So let's come to now basic geometry. What is basic geometry? Sir, is geometry in part of syllabus of CA Foundation? No. My answer is no. There is no particular chapter which deals with geometry. So then why we are studying geometry? Because the basic geometry like triangles, squares, rectangles are used in multiple chapters. They are assuming that this easy thing you already knew, but that is not the case with everyone. Some of you may have forgotten what is the Pythagoras theorem, what is the area of rectangle, what is the area of a square, what is polygon, what is pentagon, what is hexagon, what is a line segment, what is parallel line, what is acute angle, obtuse angle. So the basic terms that everybody thinks that people will understand, you may not understand that. So that's why we are going to study the basic geometry. Okay, now no religious comment, guys, no religious comment. Yeah, tell me what is this? What is this in a geometry? What is this in a geometry? Sir, it's a line. So what is a line? A line is a collection of points. A line is a collection of points and do not have ends. In this line, there is no end. In both the sides, the arrow is used. You can see this arrow. Only the arrow is used in both sides. This is the line. If there is a end of the line, it is not called as line. Sir, then what it is called as? Let me draw another line. Here, suppose in this line, I put 2 points. 1 point here, 1 point here. The first point is called as A, second point is called as B. So now from A to B is also a line. That is also collection of points, but that is having a ends. So a part of line between 2 points is called as, bilkul perfect. People are giving correct answer. It is line segment. Absolutely perfect. A part of line between 2 points is called as line segments. So what is the line segment here? What is the line segment? How will you denote it? Sir, AB. AB is a line segment here. And generally, the line is denoted by a single word. Suppose M. This is M line. So I'll say M line. Line segment needs 2 points. That's why 2 alphabets. But for line, only 1 alphabet. That too in the small letter. Okay. So is this clear? Line and line segment. Is this clear? Okay. Now one more topic in the basic geometry. Okay, this is line M. The first one is line M. This is line N. Now tell me, are these two lines parallel? Are these two lines parallel? Those who know what is parallel will be able to answer easily. No, sir, these lines are not parallel. But, sir, before asking the question, what is parallel lines? So, let me tell you what is parallel lines. Two lines which can never intersect. Do you know what intersect means? Intersect means crossing each other. Two lines which never cross each other are called as parallel lines. In these two lines, you can see that they are crossing each other after a point in time. This will extend to here, and this will extend to here. And by this, they will get intersected at this point. Since they are crossing each other at a certain point, they cannot be said as parallel lines. I hope parallel lines is clear to everyone. I hope parallel lines is clear to everyone. Right, guys? Perfect. Great. I will not waste much time in the parallel lines. But yeah, one more example. This is line M, this is line N. Tell me, are they parallel lines? Are these parallel lines? But sir, these two lines are very close to each other. They will also intersect in some point in time. No, even if they are closer to each other, their direction, see their direction, see the gap. Sir, which gap? See this gap. Gap from here to here is same. Gap from here to here is same. Gap from here to here is same. This will remain same and they can never intersect. So line M and N are parallel lines. Now it is denoted like this. M is parallel to N. So this double line is the symbol for parallel. Okay, guys. This is M parallel to N. This is one thing. Now, so parallel line is done now. What is the next topic that we need to cover in basic geometry? Let me check that. Points we already know. Line segment. Yes. The next thing is angles now. Last thing is angles. ANGLES. What is angle? To understand angle, first we need to draw one line. This is called initial line. And from this point where it was started, this green point, I am drawing one more line. Now this one more line, is this closer? Yes. This can be this far, this can be this far, this can be rotated and come back here also. So can you see the rotation? Can you see the rotation? This is the rotation you can see, right? Just like a clock, just like what happens in clock. Can you see this? Yes, this is the rotation. Now guys, to measure how much the second line is rotated, the second line is called as terminal side. Now if we measure how much this second line is rotated with respect to the initial line, how much the terminal side is rotated with respect to initial line, it is called as the angle. Okay, generally it is measured in degrees. So there are other units also like radians, but yeah, popularly we use degrees. Now, one thing you all know, I know that you all know very well. This is my terminal side. This is my initial side. Sorry, this is my initial side. Tell me what is the angle between these two lines. Tell me what is the angle between two lines. So this is 90 degree. 90 degree and also called as right angle. Got it? Sir, why it is 90 degree? What is the logic behind the 90 degree? Let me tell you guys the logic. So this was the initial line, okay? Then I am taking the terminal line, and you have seen that the line can be rotated from anywhere to anywhere, okay? For a complete rotation, suppose this line comes again and comes back here also. Again, let me take other color, then you will be able to understand. Yeah, so it was started from here, then going, and then completing the circle, and then come back here. Now tell me, this is the complete rotation? Yeah, this complete rotation is 360 degree. If this complete rotation is 360 degree, tell me for this particular part, how much is the rotation? Sir, the rotation is 25% of total rotation. Why? Because there are 4 parts of complete rotation, right? Like in your clock, in every 15 minutes, it's a 1/4 of an hour, which takes 90 degree angle. Similar way, the 360 degree is the complete rotation. So 90 degree is the 1/4 of it. So let's see 360 degree into 1/4. How much it is coming? 90 degree. That's why it is 90 degree. We cannot denote it by percentage that 25% rotation is done. One complete rotation is taken as 360 degree. It is given by mathematicians. Now we need to use this simple rule everywhere. Now if the rotation is double, if our line comes here, now tell me guys, what is the angle? What is the angle, this red one? Sir, why 180 degree? Because it is half of the complete rotation. So 360 degree into 1/2, which is 180 degree. Is it clear? Absolutely. Are the angles clear? What is the logic behind angles? What is the measurement is? It is the measurement of rotation. Okay. It is a measurement of rotation between two lines, initial side and terminal side. I hope you are finding it interesting because you are getting to the roots of geometry and not just mugging it up. Okay. Now, some important terms that we need to understand here is first, acute angle. Any angle which is less than 90 degree is called as acute angle. Then obtuse angle, any angle which is more than 90 degree, and last is right angle, which is equal to 90 degree. Okay. Yeah. Obtuse is more than 90 but less than 180. Now let me draw it. First I will draw acute angle. So this red diagram is acute angle. Then I'm taking, okay, wait. Yeah. Then this blue diagram. This is obtuse angle because it is more than 90. And the last one is right angle, this black one. Okay. I hope it is clear to everyone. The obtuse angle, the acute angle, and the right angle. Clear? So it's 2:55 and let's revise whatever we have done today. Let's just quickly wrap it up and we'll not start new thing. The remaining geometry we will take tomorrow. Okay. So tomorrow will be very interesting session. Don't miss the session. So let me revise for today. So BODMAS you already know. Bracket, order, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction, and the ranks are, first rank will be given to all the brackets, and within the bracket, this bar, then a small bracket, then curly bracket, then a square bracket. Order means power. If there is any power, we will solve it first, then we will solve plus, minus, multiply, divide. Among plus, minus, multiply, divide, multiply and division are given preference, then addition and subtraction are following them. This was about BODMAS. After BODMAS, the prime factorization which was remaining, it's very simple. Just divide it up to the level you can and write the factors in a multiplication form. That is called the prime factorization. Okay, then the main thing that we have studied today was the types of numbers. As far as types of numbers are concerned, first we studied natural numbers. Why the name is natural? Name is natural because naturally we count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they are all positive numbers, they do not include 0. Then comes the whole number, it is also natural number including 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then integer are also covering whole numbers, but yeah, along with that negative numbers are also there. So integers contains complete numbers, positive, negative also include 0. Any fraction is not taken in integer, but yeah, the complete number are also fraction in one point of view, because denominator is 1 which is silent. Then these statement, all natural numbers are whole numbers, yes, but not whole numbers are natural numbers. This you need to know. All whole numbers are natural numbers if we remove 0, then they are all equal. Positive integers are nothing but natural number, and all the whole numbers are integers, yes, but all the integers are not whole number. Why? Because the negative numbers are also there in integer. Then rational number, which can be written in the form of p upon q, where p and q are integers and q is never equal to 0, otherwise it will become imaginary. So these examples we have taken. Irrational means which are not rational but real. So all the real numbers which are not rational are called irrational. Now for that we have studied real. Real means which is not imaginary. And what is imaginary? That cannot be defined, that do not exist, like the square root of negative number. Okay, then 4 upon 0, denominator is 0. So this was the ultimate conclusion of types of numbers. Numbers imaginary, real. In real there are q and t, that is rational and irrational. Within the q there are z and x. Z means integer, non-integer is not x, but yeah, there is no abbreviation to it. And within the integer there are three parts: negative, positive and 0. 0 and positive together are called as whole number, only positive are called as natural number, and negative integer is called as only negative integer, no other name. Then this was the example. I hope you have all understood this. And yeah, and the basic geometry, again we just did basic geometry. We read the lines which do not have any ends are called lines. When they have ends, it is called line segment. And when we come to parallel lines, they do not intersect with each other. And then we come to angles. So angles are the measurement of rotation of terminal side with respect to initial side, and right angle, obtuse angle, acute angle. That's all from my side, guys, for today. I hope you enjoyed the session today, and there is no technical glitches also. So at least just give the feedback of technicality. Was the session clear? Was it all audible? Was it all visible? Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Need feedback from everyone so that we should continue in Zoom or YouTube live. Give the votes. Zoom, right? Everybody's happy with Zoom. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah. See you. Bye bye. Take care. See you tomorrow.